So, I've been asking myself this very recently. Is it always necessary to upgrade your iPhone every single year? You see, gone are the days where before upgrading your phone was barely even a thought. And this was the era of the Nokia 1100s and the 3310s, which were quite honestly a lot stronger than Thor's hammer. And for you to even find a cracked phone screen in those days, it only meant that something deliberate was done to damage the phone. You see, now we live in a world where because of technological advancement, upgrading a phone is almost a necessity at least every 2 to 3 years. And without doubt, probably the biggest company to benefit from upgrades of phones every single year is Apple. You see, Apple holds about 55% of the world's market share with phones. And the fact that they keep on generating new phones every single year to sell to the masses, albeit with very few differences, they still find a way to make it work. And then you come to a country like Ghana, where upgrading an iPhone every year has become a competition, even among celebrities. Like, this country is, we don't have real problems. And it's for these same reasons that some people actually sacrifice their dignity and their spinal structures every year just to get an upgrade. If you didn't get that, show this video to someone, I'm sure they will understand it. So, where does this really start? Well, I can tell you for a fact that Apple has made it extremely easy. You see, when you actually go on Apple's website, they have the option of making you use the Apple Card, and this allows you to pay in installments. And the amount that you have to pay depends on certain factors like the storage size of the phone, the type of phone you are getting, or even whether or not you have a phone to trade in for the phone that you want to get. So practically, it's using a paid subscription service only so you can access the phone. But talking about subscriptions that will not require you to pay anything, I have noticed that about 92% of you that watch my videos are not subscribed. Let's get that number a little more even. So please subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. That would be very uplifting. So even though there is the Apple Card and trade-in option, you do need to consider the fact that it's going to be a lot easier out there than it is to say Ghana. Now, of course, it doesn't mean it's impossible. They can't ship here, but most often than not, people will end up going to a trusted source just to pay full price to get that phone, even though there are swap deals from third-party dealers. So this is probably the easiest option in order to upgrade your iPhone. But Apple has been very notorious in the past. I don't know how many of you remember the iOS 11 updates from 2017. With that update, Apple found a way to slow down older iPhones and also throttle the battery. So unfortunately, if you use, say, a 5S, you were going to get affected. Unfortunately, I was one of such people. I had just started using a brand new 5S. Eventually, I had to upgrade because the battery problems were just so terrible. Now later, Apple did apologize and released an update to clear all of those problems. But that was when speculation started that, okay, maybe Apple does indeed force people with new updates to get better phones or more current phones. But aside all of this, Apple really has one thing in their corner that really favors them: brand loyalty. You see, even though Apple has one of the best user interfaces and best user experiences in any phone or any product of theirs for that matter, people end up so satisfied with their products that it's almost hard for them to go back to an Android phone or any other phone that they may have been using prior to getting an iPhone. It's really one of the reasons why people that can't upgrade would rather stick to their old iPhones rather than jump to a newer Android phone. And there are a number of ways that Apple boosts brand loyalty, such as the stickers. You see, the stickers have been a bit of free advertising for Apple, but also they've been a bit of subconscious reassertment of the brand loyalty that a person may feel or have to their brand. And that would also mean that if they put these stickers on a laptop or a car and they were seen in public with those particular stickers, they would probably influence a person's decision going down the road to get an Apple product. And they also do find a way to lock you in with the ecosystem, because Apple's ecosystem is pretty tight. It's kind of like a wall. Once you get in, it's very hard for you to come out and use something else other than that. And in many ways, you could actually see the ecosystem as Apple's biggest contributor to their revenue stream, because they are selling things like Apple TV Plus. They are selling services within Apple Fitness. They are selling all sorts of things like iMacs, iPads, Apple Watches, just to get you within the experience and feel and contribute more money to them. And in the long run, brand loyalty has also affected how new products are received and how certain changes with iPhones have been received in the past. Like with the iPhone 7 when they removed the 3.5mm headphone jack, with the iPhone X when they took out Touch ID, and last year when they took out chargers out of the box, that was weird. Apple sold this as a way of saving the planet, but really when you look at it, it can be somewhat hypocritical. Because if you study the contents of the iPhone 12 box where this all started, the iPhone 12 did come with a charging cable, but that charging cable was USB-C to Lightning. Meaning that if you didn't have the charger for the previous iPhone you used, or if you didn't use an iPhone previously before upgrading to this particular phone, either way you would have to get a new charging brick, which did offer faster charging speeds. So that was a little hypocritical in this sense, if you really look at it. But when you take a deep dive and look at the things that Apple really upgrades on a year-to-year basis, especially in the last few years, they really only upgrade two things: the cameras and the chips. And the frequency of these upgrades have brought some sort of confusion because it's become a little hard to tell which iPhone is which now. For example, take the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 12. The only differentiating factor is really how the body is shaped and how it feels in your hand, which is a little harder when you even put a case on the 12. And then take the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 13, and the only way to really tell the difference, if the notch doesn't give it away immediately, is the position of the bottom sensor of the camera on the regular iPhone 13 shifted to the right, so it has a bit of a diagonal arrangement. And per this trend, I think it's going to be a little harder to tell the 13 Pro Max from the 12 Pro Max, except for the fact that the camera bumps on the 13 are slightly bigger, but even still. But with this iPhone 13, the argument has become more compelling because now it has probably the best battery in any smartphone today, and probably one of the best camera systems in a phone that we've seen today. They've even added things like photographic styles, which I really think is more of a rebrand to the filters that you could have shot in previously with older models of iPhones. And then there's also cinematic mode, which allows you to have that blurry bokeh background that you've seen with certain cinematic presentations and movies. This year, they also included the 120Hz screen refresh rate for their Pro model phones, which is not new because Samsung and other brands have actually done this, and they used to do it in their iPads. So as to how it took so long to come into the iPhones, it's been a bit of a mystery. But Apple always does is they move at their own pace, but when they implement it, they are pretty good. We have to give them that point. And so when answering the ultimate question of should you upgrade your iPhone every single year, I don't think so, especially when you have a phone that is really only about 2 or 3 generations behind. But anything beyond that, you might want to consider it. But I mean, people will do what they want to do and they might upgrade, but if you are not going to upgrade to the Pro line of iPhones for this year, it might be a bit of a wasted upgrade because the Pro line has a bit more of the features that will come to stay in the future. The thing I really did not want to admit is the fact that every upgrade that has come is slightly more future-proof than the model it came right after. So if you put an iPhone 12 and the 13 together and say there was iOS 22, the iPhone 13 might actually have support for iOS 22, whereas the iPhone 12 might be the last time it's supported or not supported. But I need to give props to Apple because they really do well with software updates and enable other phones that are a little far behind in getting into the experience. It's a true testament to how much they care for their user experience and, you know, all of that stuff, even though I really don't think it's necessary to upgrade your phone every single year. So yes, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think about this, and that's going to be it for me in this video today. Thanks so much for watching. If you do want to see a video that YouTube thinks is the best for you, you can check that out over here. If you want to see my most recent upload, you can check that over here. My name is Kpakpo. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye.